Hello and welcome back to Her Becoming. I am your host, Kayla Countryman, and thank you for being here with me as always. Today we have a very timely episode, pun intended. I want to start by giving y'all a little bit of a life update. First things first, if you are new here, welcome. Her Becoming is a personal development and wellness podcast to help you become the person that you were meant to be all along. So on this show, we talk a lot about personal development and discovering who you are, finding your purpose, exploring your passions, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, nutrition, women's health, hormones, literally everything under the sun. As a holistic health coach and just a curious human, I've done so much research on so many different topics, and it is an honor and a privilege to just share my brain and my heart with you. So, my latest life update, y'all, is I am getting back into teaching fitness. Back in 2019, I got certified as a yoga sculpt instructor through Core Power Yoga. I taught for years in the studio, and then I went on to do private events and corporate wellness. So I've been teaching essentially for the past 7 years. However, I haven't taught in studio in a little over 3 years now. And I just got hired at a local wellness club. I'm not going to say where yet. You'll see when I make the announcement, but I just got hired to teach again. And my heart and my soul are feeling so fulfilled because it's been years since I've been back teaching consistently in front of the same community. And when I think about the woman that I'm becoming, when I think about the brand that I'm building for myself, my personal brand, my business, and just who I am as a wellness focused entrepreneur, I know that teaching in person again is such a fantastic stepping stone to getting where I want to be. That being said, it also has me thinking a lot about time management. You might be thinking, Kayla, what the hell? Another thing. I have my 9 to 5, I have my coaching business, I have this podcast weekly, and now I'm going to be teaching in studio as well. And you know what? It is a little crazy, and it does sound a little bit crazy, but this is why I'm so diligent about how I manage my time, because I'm a believer in you can kind of like lock in and do what needs to be done when it comes to managing your goals if you're serious about living the life that you want to create. We are all guilty of saying, there's not enough time. I don't have enough time. I'm always like, I need to clone myself, which would be very helpful, dare I say. But we are constantly complaining about not having enough time. And so over these last few days, since I signed that offer letter, I have been thinking a lot about, okay, how am I spending my time? How do I want to be spending my time? Sort of auditing my days as I exist through the world and just taking notice of time management as a whole. So in today's episode, I want to share with you some things that have surfaced for me as far as time management, how I manage my time, how I plan to manage my time, and just some things that you can do to manage your time in a way that helps you prepare to live the life that you want to create, in a way that helps you reach your goals, but also prioritize rest and wellness and just being, because we are meant to be human beings, not human doings. And I think when we think of the word time management, it can sound very like optimize your time to create the perfect routine to work, work, work. That's not the direction I'm taking it today. We are not going that way. We are talking about time management and creating a life that you love, whatever that looks like for you, which I know for me and for most people is not just about work. So let's get into it. I was in the car this morning driving to Pilates, and something that randomly dropped in was how much it bothers me when people say we all have the same 24 hours in a day. I feel like that usually comes from self-help gurus. It's always white men. And I just really don't believe that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Sure, we all have 24 hours to use, but you cannot convince me that everyone's 24 hours are equal. For example, there's no way that my 24 hours is the same 24 hours as a mother, or let alone a single mother, let alone someone working a minimum wage job trying to provide for their family. It is not the same. And so I think it's really harmful when self-help leaders push the agenda that we all have the same 24 hours. There's no excuses. Do it, do it, do it. I think that's really toxic. I'm 30. I have a stable remote job. I live alone with my dog. I sleep 8 hours most nights. I have created a life where I'm able to handle the level of things that I voluntarily take on: the work, the business, the podcasting, the creating, the teaching. I sleep really well. I don't have to give my time to a lot of different people. And so I am in a very different situation than someone that is raising a family or someone that is raising kids on their own or just trying to make ends meet and provide. And that's not to discredit myself. I work very hard. I will always give myself my flowers. I just want to be very clear. It's not apples to apples. And I think when we get stuck in this comparison of, wow, if she can do it all, so can I. Yes, you can, but it's going to look different and it should look different. It's in the same way as my 24 hours isn't the same as some celebrity or some big time influencer that has a chef and a content team and an assistant. I am the chef, the content team, and the assistant in my business. It's different. And so I think it's a lot less about having the same 24 hours and a lot more about how we choose to spend the hours that we do have, because for everyone, it's going to look different. So I'm never going to come in front of this microphone and push you to just go, 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 no excuses, no days off. It's not sustainable. It's not realistic. And your 24 hours is not going to be the same as the next person's, but we have the power to choose and to take full responsibility for how we spend our time. On last week's episode, we talked about my Sunday reset routine and how you can plan out your week to live a more intentional life. So this is a very similar follow-up conversation. We have to take radical responsibility for the reality that we are creating for ourselves given our circumstances. Highlight that last part, given our circumstances. I may have the time and the flexibility and the freedom right now to juggle the 9 to 5, the podcast, teaching, and whatever else the hell I want to do. That's going to change one day when I have kids and become a mother and start raising a family, and my passions may change and evolve over time. That's okay. So let's get into how can you actually manage your time better so that you can create a life that aligns with the person that you are becoming. This isn't about being so rigid in your time or in your life. It's about knowing what you desire in your life and creating a path to getting there, to achieving it. So first things first is identifying your priorities. Last week, we touched on making your priority list as you're outlining your plan for the week. Knowing your priorities at any given time is going to help you understand where you want to spend your time. When I say priorities, I'm talking about who are the priorities in your life. What are the priorities in your life? So this can be people, this can be tasks, this can be areas of business, career, hobbies, fun, like genuinely understanding what is important to me in my life right now. Maybe looking at the goals you are working towards or thinking about the vision that you have for your life. What are the priorities that you have to help you get there? So for me right now, I'll give you an example. My priority is this podcast. My priority is growing this community, building an audience around Her Becoming, because I know Her Becoming has the potential and the capability to expand, to grow, and to impact so many more women and so many more people. That means that when I'm looking at my priorities, recording, editing, content creation, and also resting so that I have the energy to record, those are a lot of my priorities right now. That is at the top of the list. That being said, your priorities shift over time and with seasons of your life. So we also have to make space to revisit our priorities. That's why I like to do it weekly or maybe at least monthly if you're new to this, to understand how you need to manage your time. I keep going back to mothers because I just really admire mothers and I personally can't wait to be a mother one day. But if you have a child and you're new to motherhood, your priorities have majorly shifted. They're going to look different. How you spend your time is completely different compared to someone like me that, again, my podcast can be my number one priority right now. And I want to highlight, underline, and bold here. Notice how I say your priorities. I think we have a tendency, especially as women, to prioritize what we think should be important or what other people want to be important for us instead of truly looking at what is important to ourselves. And so this is a opportunity for you, a permission slip for you to really take pen to paper and understand what is important to me in my life right now. If you were to get rid of all of the external noise, all of the external validation and the opinions, and just write down pen to paper what is important to me in my life right now, that's how you identify your priorities. Along with that is being protective of your time. I'm going to give you a little bit of storytelling right now because I have been so adamant about this lately. I've felt myself getting, if I'm being honest, just a little bit selfish with my time. And I don't think selfish is a bad word. I think that selfish is a necessity when you are building and creating and when you are simply existing and healing as a human as well. I'm already giving the company that I work for 40 hours of my week, right? That is a large chunk of time, especially for someone coming off of 4.5 years of entrepreneurship full time. Giving 40 hours a week is a lot. And it's something that I do right now for stability because I know that it makes sense for me in the long run. But that being said, the time that I have outside of those 40 hours, I am guarding like nobody's business. Most people see the weekend as 2 days that are just open and free. Same with evenings, just available, open, and free. That is not my story. Since I am giving this company 40 hours and I am trying to grow and build my podcasting and coaching business around that, that means my evenings and my weekends are protected. They are not just to be open and available to whoever and whatever. I have specific times that I reserve to record, to edit, to create content, to do admin work, to do outreach. I have specifically identified tasks that are weekly that I need to get done outside of those 40 hours. So I'm very selective with my yeses and I throw out no's like confetti these days, and that's okay. And sometimes, if I'm being completely honest, I feel bad. I feel like I'm being mean because the people pleaser in me feels bad for not being in the mood to be social all the time or to spend time with friends all the time. But I've really learned that I need to allocate my time differently in order to create the life that I want. And right now, that means temporarily cutting back on social outings and social plans and knowing that I am hunkered down in my work. It doesn't mean I am fully cutting out people and fully not making time for other people because I believe that if you want to be part of a village, you have to be a villager. So that is always going to be part of who I am. I will always be there for my people, but I am temporarily cutting back. And I have to be okay with that, knowing that it's temporary and helping me get to where I want to be in the long run. Another thing I've been reflecting on related to this is I'm really not in the space of making new friends right now unless it happens naturally. I just don't really have the capacity to go out seeking friendships right now. And again, I feel like that sounds kind of mean when I say it out loud, but the truth and the blessing behind that is I am so grateful for the friends and the people I have in my life. I truly believe I have the most incredible community, the most incredible family, the most incredible friends. My cup in that area feels so full. I am surrounded by love, people who show up for me and people who I want to show up for. That means that right now, when I'm thinking about how I spend my time, when I do have spare time, I'm giving it to those people. I'm giving it to the people who fill my cup, whose cup I fill. It's very mutual and reciprocated. And I don't necessarily need to go out of my way to make new friends or go on coffee dates with new people or be set up to go on friend dates with people because they think that we'd get along. Not interested in it right now. There is a very selective and limited amount of people that I have space for, and that is okay. So I share that to say, give yourself permission to make adjustments in your life based on your goals. You might be eating at home more because you're cutting back financially. You might be going out less because you want to live a healthier lifestyle. You might be spending less time getting to know new people because you're hunkering down on business and spending time with your friends and family that you already have. It's okay. And I think we can be really hard on ourselves when it comes to our time because we want to be available, we want to be accessible, and we don't want to create a wall or have too tough of boundaries. But I want you to know that two things can be true. You can make adjustments based on your goals, and you can still have time to contribute to your loved ones, to your village. You just have to be so clear on what you have time for and what you don't. And I think the misconception with time management is taking just all of the time available and allocating it, when what we should be doing is identifying what's important to us and then making space for the things that actually bring us joy, actually fill our cups, and actually lead us towards the life that we want to live. Spending time with people you don't actually enjoy being around, or being in rooms that you actually don't want to be in or don't feel welcomed in, that's draining you. And it's taking away from very valuable time that you could spend with other people or with yourself. Most importantly, with yourself, getting to know yourself deeper, exploring your passions. Our time is so incredibly valuable. And I think as we get older, we naturally start to realize we want to be more protective of it. But when it comes to time management, I really want to encourage you to be more selective. Again, it's not mean. It's not saying that you don't have time for anyone. It's just being selective, because now I know the people that I spend time with, they have my full attention. I am locked in with them. I want to be spending my time with them because I'm that intentional, versus just giving my time to whoever and whenever and saying yes because I feel like I should. Now I'm not paying attention. I'm not fully present. And then I'm resenting myself because I can't get that time back. Time is so precious. Our time is money. Our time is valuable. And it's really important to understand how you want to spend it. The last thing I will touch on, and this seems so silly to even mention because it is a no-brainer, but we have to talk about it. And I'm talking to myself right now too. We got to stop with the scrolling. We have to stop with the mindless scrolling, y'all. We all do it. I am so guilty. I can't even share my screen time with you. It is wild and out of this world. But I often think if you replace the amount of time that you spent scrolling with something that is actually fulfilling to your life would look different. And I'm not just talking about replacing scrolling with doing more work, hustling. Again, this is not a conversation about that. But what if you spent the time you spend scrolling resting, like actually resting, doing an activity, maybe making some art, doing a puzzle, coloring, getting away from screens, calling someone you love, working on a passion project. I truly believe that because I have her becoming, and then now with me yoga, and then also with me taking on coaching clients, I just have less time to be on my phone. And that has been really helpful for me because I've really enjoyed pouring into my passions instead of just laying around and scrolling and consuming other people's lives. We spend so much time on our phones, and then we have the audacity to say there's not enough time. I need to clone myself. I need more hours in the day. The audacity of us to have 6, 7, 8 hours a day on our screen time report, caught in the act, and then to say we don't have enough time. Make it stop. We have to stop. We cannot operate like that any longer. And I say we because I'm including myself, even though I have replaced a lot of it with my passions. I want to encourage you to as well. And again, it can look like rest, it can look like play, it can look like a new hobby. But I don't want you to look back on your life when you're in your 50s and your 60s and your 70s and just think of a life that was consumed by social media, or think of a life that was consumed by working a 9 to 5, laying on the couch scrolling, having dinner, and rinse and repeat. I really want to encourage you to start creating a life that you love. And time management is one of the first steps. Identify what's important to you. Understand who is worthy of your energy, because not everyone is. How do you want to spend your time? What do you actually want to say yes to? And where can you put more no's out into the world to protect your time and your energy? We don't all have the same 24 hours, but you do have your own unique 24 hours that you need to take responsibility of. I truly believe that how you spend your days is how you spend your life. And the life that you want to create for yourself is built in every single day. So today and moving forward, look at how you spend your time. Look at the media you consume. Look at how much you're scrolling. Look at the people you're surrounded by, the things you listen to. Are you engaging in things and with people who get you closer to the person you want to become, who expand you, who push you to grow, who challenge your thoughts and ideas? Or are you staying in places that keep you small? If you want to explore this on a deeper level, you know I would be happy to work with you one-on-one to help you understand and really create a vision for the life that you want to live, and then build habits and routines that support that. There's a link in the show notes to book a one-on-one visionary session with me. It is a 90-minute session to help you start living a life that just feels good. We can do so many different things in a visionary session. We can look into your routines and habits. We can get started on a business plan. I can help you map out a creative passion project that you've been thinking about. There is so much opportunity for us. If you have questions, you can always DM me. Otherwise, you can book your session directly through the link in my show notes. All right, that is all I have for you today. Take some time after listening to this to understand where your time is best spent, and I will see you on the next episode. Until then, be well.